Hello there my friends, and welcome back to another Ultimate Skyrim development update. As always, I'd like to say hello to my newest patrons. Thank you all very much for your contributions and your support, without which Ultimate Skyrim would not exist. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been hard at work on the big crafting overhaul, specifically assigning all recipes to the proper crafting stations. If you need a refresher on the changes to crafting stations in 4.0, you can find that video linked in the description below. Since this task requires me to evaluate every recipe in the game, I've had many opportunities to make small changes here and there, and those changes are what I'm sharing with you guys today. First and foremost, I've added a really wonderful mod called Craftable bottles for Requiem, which has two major features. First, it adds an empty bottle to the player's inventory whenever they consume an alcoholic beverage, and second, it allows players to fill empty bottles with water at any water source. I've expanded this functionality to include all bottled beverages in the game, and I also added the ability to empty out beverages so that you can retrieve the bottle without drinking the beverage. This really comes in handy when you need a bottle but you aren't looking to drink alcohol. Using that work as a basis, I've also expanded the recipes for healing poultices so that any alcohol in the game can now be used to craft a healing poultice, if of course you have the recipe for healing poultices. Another small tweak is that I've unified the ingredient requirements and the output count of all arrow and bolt recipes in the game. With select exceptions, arrow and bolt recipes will require 2 firewood and 1 ingot and produce 15 arrows or bolts. For arrows like stone and bone that can be crafted anywhere from scavenged materials, I've also added quote-unquote emergency recipes that require fewer resources and produce 5 arrows rather than the standard 15. This should come in handy if you're in a dire situation with very few resources, as a single arrow can mean the difference between life and death. I've also completely removed all spears and short spears from the game and completely re-implemented glaives. Removing spears was an initiative spearheaded by the trader in his Requiem patch for heavy armory because there are currently no animations for spears, which made using them a little bit awkward. However, an unfortunate side effect of this change is that glaives were removed as well because they were classified as spears by many of heavy armory's leveled lists. While evaluating these lists and recipes, I separated glaives from the other spears so that they will be present in the game as loot and in recipes. I also overhauled the crafting recipes and naming conventions for backpacks and tents. I created recipes for converting any iron pot into a functional cookpot. I created recipes with alternate ingredients for some common survival tools like simple axes and hunting knives. And I made all the bone bit recipes visible so you can see all the different items that can be converted into bone bits. That about wraps up all the changes from the past 2 weeks. My goals for the next 2 weeks are to unify the placement system for all furnitures and placeable objects, to finish part 1 of the crafting overhaul, which once again means ensuring that all recipes use the proper crafting stations, and to begin part 2 of the crafting overhaul, which means creating and assigning all of the new recipes and blueprints for craftable items, and distributing those recipes and blueprints throughout the world. Feel free to leave any thoughts and questions in the comments below, and I will see you in 2 weeks with another development update. Thank you for watching.